Welcome, Case fans, to another edition of Weekend Preview with me, James Barrett-Sterling, and of course we've been joined by Mr. Hayden Bird. Hayden, thank you very much, and just wanted to see you made it back all right, didn't you? Because the petrol stations are getting very busy at the moment. I thought you might get caught up in a queue or two.
No, I've got a full tank at the moment. Hopefully, I'm going to be okay.
Well, we hope that there's a full tank for the squad on Saturday as well. So, of course, Case fans' disappointment on Tuesday night. We crashed out of the FA Cup 1-0 at Horsham. Hayden, from Tuesday's night's results, what aspect of the evening have you found yourself dwelling on the most?
Well, you know, we've looked at it very closely. We've looked at it very closely as a staff. We've looked at it very closely as a team. And there's a few things that we must all be mindful of. The first thing is that the team certainly didn't play poorly. I thought in many areas the team played very well. We've all got to be mindful of the fact that, you know, I've sat here before, James, and said we have to manage expectations. We're not that team that are going to run away with the league. We're not that team that are absolutely nailed on for the top five. I've said many times we have to improve. And the truth is, over the last 7 days or so, we've shown that. We've shown the need and the requirement to improve. We have no divine right to go to Horsham and win. Horsham are a very good team with very good players. One of the most difficult away fixtures. And of course, if you add to it, there's players in their team that are even more determined. And if you add to it again that they are playing the top of the league, the game's very difficult. I thought that we played well. I thought that we played against a very well-organised team and a good side who worked their socks off and put their bodies on the line without the ball and to stop us scoring. And we did fall a little bit short in the final third. I think that's fair to say. As a team, we're not only speaking of the front four, as a team, we fell a little bit short in the final third. But, you know, we've gone away from home. We've had 90% of the ball. I hear the remarks that they nullified us. Well, you know, let's not forget, we're away. We're the away team. I think that the home team only had one meaningful shot on goal. We could have been a good couple of goals up within 20 minutes. But, you know, football is football. These things can happen. Congratulations to Dom. Congratulations to Horsham and their players. They played very, very well. And we'll learn from the experience. We'll use the experience as fuel to continue to strive to improve. And now we're looking forward to the next game. And, you know, if there is a consolation, I can tell you from experience that teams that are trying to be promoted can find that even more difficult with a really good FA Cup run. I wanted one. I wanted to do well in every competition, but I know from previous experience that if you have a good cup run, it can cause complications to the league programme. But certainly with our aspirations in the league, perhaps it's not a bad thing that we've got out of the FA Cup a little early, even though I want to stress we did have ambitions to do well in the competition.
No, of course. You mentioned the word nullify in there. Of course, some people might know Horsham got a severely depleted squad. They probably did set up to be defensively minded first, to not concede a goal and then push forward from there. We've got the talent in our squad to unlock these kinds of doors, but maybe the key word that was missing on Tuesday and maybe on Saturday last week as well was clinical, perhaps.
Well, you know, I've heard about Dorking. Call them Dorking now because they've got a few Dorking players in there. I've heard of Horsham's injury hit squad. I'm not suggesting they haven't got an injury hit squad. I am suggesting that they've got a big squad and a squad of very good players. You know, I didn't see a weak team play against us. You know, I see a very, very good goalkeeper. I see experience in the back line and quality in the back line. You have the likes of Doug Tuck, one of the most creative players in the league, playing in midfield, next to a highly charged Tom Kavanagh. You've got Charlie Harris, who is an excellent footballer. You have Tom Richards. You have Fenelon up front with Eddie coming on. You know, these are really good players. So we've all got injuries. I just choose not to mention them. I choose not to mention that I've had 50% of the back four out for the whole season. I choose not to mention that there are players that are playing with injury. I choose not to mention that we've had suspensions from the start of the season, goodness knows what. I just choose not to mention it. I don't want to cry about it. I just get on with it. So we've all got injuries. But listen, let's give credit to Horsham. Well done then. We wish them every success against Eastbourne Borough. And as you say, had we shown a little bit more composure in the final third, then I think we probably would still be in the FA Cup. Certainly on both games, there were chances. There were chances in the first 20 minutes. The chances went begging. Daniel Ajakai was denied on more than one occasion by the excellent Sam Howes. Kashani Samuels, I'd have put my mortgage on him scoring in the second half, but he didn't. And that's football. So if you don't take those chances of games of that profile, then you run the risk of losing. And if you don't put Horsham to bed in the first game and it's 1-0, one mistake can lead to an equaliser. But look, we'll wish them luck. Well done to Horsham. Congratulations on their victory. And we move forward, looking forward to the league campaign.
Absolutely. Let's move on from Tuesday. And as you say, looking forward to getting back to league affairs. And we're at home again on Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff against Merstham. With training last night and everything, how are you and the team approaching this one, Hayden?
I think it will be a very difficult game. There's obvious connections between Kingstonian and Horsham. I would expect to play a team with a similar motivation and a similar style, and a team that's had some really good results lately. Some very good results. A lot of people thought that Merstham would struggle. They're certainly not struggling at the moment. I for one, thought that they would have a much improved season. Didn't think that they would find themselves at the wrong end of the table. And yeah, I think that there's players in there that we have to be very careful of. We know what will come. We know the motivation that will come. We know exactly how they're going to play, as they know how we're going to play. But one thing is for certain, James, when you're top of the league, everybody's out to beat you. Everybody will play above themselves, and everybody will run that much harder. And in exactly the same way as we have done before, we have to react to that, and we have to strive to improve. And part of the way we can improve is learning how to deal with those situations.
Yeah, I think even though we are top at the moment, and as you say, they're down in 19th, I think it is at the moment as it stands. They beat Margate 4-1 in the Cup last Saturday. So, you know, they're no slouches. What kind of reminder are you going to give the players not to fall into that trap of complacency?
I think the message to the players is the message to the players that I've been speaking about all season to. We have to improve. If we look at the last 3 results, Wingate and Finchley, we wasn't right. But I'll be honest and say Wingate and Finchley were probably the best team we've played all season. So let's not look at the league table too much. If there's a lesson, there's the lesson for you. They played really well and deserved their victory against us. The next game, Horsham, we had 90% of the ball. We were patient. We quite deservedly went ahead, and unfortunately, little mistake at the back we were punished with. And again, many good things on Tuesday, where we completely dominated play. We had 80-90% of the ball away from home. We fell a little bit short in the final third, and we just have to improve a little bit in that area, I think. So there's no complacency. There's a stern, hard, cold focus and a desire to improve. And you know, when we're in the away dressing room and the songs are out and the walls are being bashed, and you see the celebrations in the stadium for beating Kingstonian, we get that. We're not bothered by that. We let them have their moment. We'll let them have their victory. But let me tell you, that is fuel for us to making sure that we win the next game and we go on another big unbeaten run. So the players on the training ground have been brilliant on Tuesday. There was no sad faces. I said to them, no sad faces. This is football. We have to be big enough to deal with it, and we have to be strong enough to improve and move on. And that's exactly what we did from yesterday. And I've got to say, the players put in their best training session and were absolutely brilliant.
Excellent, great to hear, great to hear. Of course, yourself have got ties with Merstham, some of the players as well, like Shaney and Ollie and Kenny and Gus, etc. The fixtures like this get you reminiscing a lot?
I've got a great deal of affection for all the clubs that I've been at. I certainly have a great deal of affection for the people of Merstham. The people that run the club are really good people. Frank and Barry have got into Merstham, probably taken them a couple of years to find their feet, probably haven't been helped by the interruption of coronavirus. But that is a club with amazing stability, and that was a club that will always allow the manager time to get things right, which is absolutely right. And of course, you know, I look back at my time with Merstham with many fond memories. We created great memories together, great results together. We took the club a long way, but none of that will mean anything to me tomorrow. The best of friends off the pitch, the best of enemies on the pitch. And tomorrow, my relationship with Merstham for 90 minutes is dead. It means nothing to me. I just focus on winning 3 points.
Good stuff, good stuff. Can we have a squad update, please?
Yeah. So Fabio is still awaiting the results of his MRI scan. So Fabio is out. Harry, we're in consultation with Harry, with Steve Allen on how to move this forward. It's obviously quite delicate because it's not easy, this surgery, but we are now looking at ways of how to raise the necessary funds so he can have surgery. So I've made my proposals to Harry of how we work things together as a club and how the club can support him. The team also want to support him, which shows what a tightly bunched group that we've got in the dressing room. And Harry's now going away with his family to decide what to do next and how to approach the next stage of his rehabilitation. Fabio, it's a little bit frustrating, but we're having to deal with that frustration. The only other significant news, I think, really, is that I've agreed a deal with Farnborough for Elliot Buchanan to go on loan. It's a dual registration. It's a loan agreement between me and Spencer. Spencer really likes him. I think Farnborough are a really good side this season. Them and Hayes and Yedding probably favourites to be promoted from the Southern League. So a really good environment for Elliot to play. Elliot is 32, and a man and a player of his quality, of his calibre, doesn't deserve to sit on the bench. He doesn't deserve it. Sadly for Elliot, I think that Daniel Ajakai is emerging as one of our most important players. And so I want to keep working with Daniel. Elliot is part of our long-term future. There's no question about that. He's not left the club. He's not been released. But for Elliot to come back and really seriously challenge Daniel or play alongside Daniel, he needs to go away and play football. So he's going to go away and play football with Farnborough, starting tomorrow away at Merthyr Titfield. So that's a good journey for him to start with, get to know all his new teammates. So we wish him very well. Mason Whitnell, we've sent out on loan to Colliers Wood. Again, Mason is a young player that we really like, and I think has got a great future ahead of him. He learns every day. He absorbs things from Rob Tolfrey. They work really closely together with young Sam Riley, youth team goalkeeper. But again, we've decided that Mason needs to go away and play some first team football to continue to develop. So Mason goes to Colliers Wood. And of course, Jonathan Joshi, we've sent to Molesey on similar loan for similar reasons. I don't want young players just sitting on the bench. If I can't quite see a pathway for him at the moment, we need to create one. So we've got a great relationship with Molesey because of the the ground sharing for the youth team. So he's going to go and play some games, I beg your pardon, for Steve Webb and Molesey. And Lewis Perch continues to do really, really well at Hawley, and is continuing to be monitored. So we've trimmed the squad down a little bit because I want people to be playing football. I don't see any further loans anytime soon. There's one or two things going on behind the scenes, which will become evident in the next 10 days, which will be great news for Kingstonian and great news for the team, but nothing to report on that yet. And our focus is firmly on Merstham.
Just a quick side question on all of that, because I wasn't expecting it. With Elliott going out on loan, are you talking about maybe getting another striker into the first team squad in the next 10 days or so, or are you comfortable with the cover that we've got in that area?
No, there's no plans to bring a centre forward in at this stage. That's the difference between allowing Elliott to go out on loan and allowing Elliott to leave. We didn't want to allow Elliott to leave because we like him. We want him to go and play football. With regard to Daniel Ajakai, he's our first choice number 9, but there's another great option available to us that I've not exercised yet. And that is that the supporters that will know Nyron Clunis knows that Nyron is also an exceptional centre forward. And when Dulwich were promoted from this division, he played a number of games at centre forward in a 3-5-2 formation. So Nyron will provide another option to Daniel as the number 9.
There you go, fair enough. Just finally, boss, quick word on the under-18s. It's great to see them form a guard of honour against Horsham last week in the Cup. Wonderful to see them down at the ground. And in the week, they won just 11-0 in their first combined counties game. So hats off to them. What's the feedback been like from Nigel and his team this week?
I think it was actually 12-0.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it is. Nigel certainly. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to the games this week. Nigel's played 2 games this week. On Monday, one of the youth teams beat Chertsey 5-2, which is a great result because I know with Kevin and Steve, they're looking to move Chertsey forward on all levels. So I thought that was a really good result, and really appreciate the support of Nigel's son Reese coming down to support the youth team. I thought that was a really nice gesture. And on Wednesday, the second youth team won. I'm told it was 12-0 by Nigel. I don't think it'd sneak another goal in there unnecessarily. And look, I've met these kids. I've seen the way Nigel, Jacob and Luke and Perry are with these kids. Clearly, there's many positives going on. And as I've said, I think already 2 or 3 of those players, rather than sign players, I'd rather create a pathway for those players to come into the first team. He's doing great work with them, Nigel and his team, and I think there's a really excellent set of lads there.
Great stuff. Did you happen to catch Nigel on Panorama on Monday night by any chance?
No, actually I didn't. What's he done on Panorama? He's not been exposed like Terry Venables was, has he?
He's not being investigated, no. Case fans, if you didn't get a chance to see, it's on BBC iPlayer. It's called Football's Broken Dreams, and Nigel was one of the interviewees in regards to safeguarding young talent coming up through the ranks and agencies coming in to push them towards clubs, etc. It's a good watch, only half an hour, and clubman Nigel James makes an appearance, so it's worth checking out.
I've got to tell you, this guy's on television more than I'm on these things. I turned on my television last week and I saw him on the Barclays advert. Now he's on Panorama. Nigel's a household name. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, he might be on more times, but you're certainly on for longer, Gaffer. So, more exposure that way.
Absolutely right. Through KTV. Let's keep plugging it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Case fans, 3 o'clock, King George's Field, Kingstonian against Merstham. Be there if you can. Every person counts to support the team. More than welcome. Hayden, thanks for your time as always, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, look, just to finish off, I just want to say to everybody, again, the support of Horsham was great, and we're grateful and we're thankful, and we're doing our best for you. We want to win things and win these games as much as you do. I really do want to reiterate, though, that I've seen this before. When you make the start that we've made, the excitement around the place tends to explode and the expectations go through the roof. this club and this team specifically have a lot of improving and a lot of work to do to realise our ambitions. And one thing that we must acknowledge as a club is that we didn't play poorly against Horsham. Horsham are a very good team, and we have no divine right to beat these teams, and we have no divine right to beat Merstham. What we know is that if we don't play well, we'll lose. If we do play well, we have a good chance of winning, and it will be exactly the same tomorrow. There's no divine right to beat Merstham at all. I'm sure they'll be organised, they'll be a very good team, and if we're not right, they'll have the ability to beat us. So we need everybody's support. We need everybody to get behind the players, as they always do. And we're looking forward to playing well, playing some good football, and trying to win 3 points on Saturday. Excellent.
But get your excuses in early, go to the petrol stations today and fill up so you can drive down to King George's Field tomorrow. That's what I'll say. Hayden, thanks very much as always, and come on, you C's.
Thanks very much. Have a good evening.
You too.